So I figured I'm gonna go over some notebooks where I've written some different video game uh, kind of stuff. So it's, games that I love are the ones that have you put pen to paper and really have you thinking on the page. And so we'll go through some of this really quick here. All right, so this was when I was moving. Try to get in better lighting here. And these are video game cases that I had, because in some cases I have the case, I don't have the game anymore. So I was going over how much are the cases for video games worth, and I mean, this was like 20-ish, so it was a while ago. And look at the Silent Hill 2 case. I starred some of these. That's worth $40. That's pretty decent. Although I'm confused. Let me see here. The case for Dragon Quest, I don't know if that's right. $113. Yeah, I don't know about that. So next page here. So here's more. Let's see here. Any ones that really stand out, the starred ones. So yeah, nothing too exciting here. So, for example, the instruction manual to Parasite Eve is, or I should say was, not is, worth $20 at that time. So we'll move on. This isn't really that exciting. So this is from RE2 Remake. And in the nest area, I remember that this is the area where there's the plant people and, stuff like that. So, just if you're wondering, here's the solutions. I'm sure everyone wants to know. And so there's these little image hieroglyphs kind of things, whatever you want to say, that you have to mess with. This is for a game called Monarch. It's a really difficult game from Atlas. I don't know. I bought it the day it came out, and I was kind of disappointed with it. So cryptic. I'll have to go back and play through it all the way sometime because I bought it. But what a difficult game. It has tactical turn-based RPG aspects, where you're being very strategic and moving people in a kind of grid system. So this is Pokemon Gen 3. First comes Wailord. Last comes Relicanth. So it says Regice. So you stay close to the walls and you run around. One lap is what I said here. Okay, so we'll move on. We have SMT5 fusions. I'm going to hold it like this. It's probably better. So, in the Mega 10 games, you typically can fuse other demons together with each other to make a new demon. So that's what this represents for the uninitiated. So we have Throne plus Zen equals Zook. So these are really fun. It had me putting pen to paper in this sense with the fusions. 2022 video game music. I'm fond of making kind of a soundtrack of some of my favorite songs from each of the games that I beat or played that year. So we have, Aladdin Stage 2, and this is actually really useful because I've lost these playlists. I burned discs of them and would play them in my car, but Eternal Sonata is such an excellent game. What a good game that one is. So this is Eternal Sonata. There's a xylophone tower, and you kind of play a musical alphabet game with it, and you have to, I think, play a song or something. So that's why, B, G, F, you see those kind of written down here. And then this is just some other stuff that's unrelated to video games. This is where I'm trying to learn the Greek alphabet. And I just have since not really been working at this, but I was, trying to learn it. I really want to learn another language at some point in my life. I took 2 years of Latin, 1 of Spanish in high school. I think that might be it for this one. So here's a poem that I wrote, and I'm not going to go over it right now. We're specifically looking for okay, so we're done with that notebook. It's going to Pentagon's Brain Notes with Annie Jacobson. Okay, so next notebook, we have games to play. So I was thinking about what games that I was going to play coming down the line, and I was arranging them by, the console platform I was going to play it on. So there's a list of those, and I'm kind of looking at this thinking there's still games here I need to get back to, or I want to finish still of these ones. So Elite 4 Gym Leader Strategy, Gen 12, I can't even remember, Gen 2, by the way, silver version. And so this is when I was battling the Elite 4, and I was looking at, what is the best strategy to deal with them. Not really that interesting. So we'll move on. There is, at the bottom of the list here, there's some more, games for the PS3 that I wanted to potentially... I think these are games I potentially wanted to buy. No, that's games to play, it says up there, so never mind. But I'm confused. I don't have Way of the Samurai 4. So, this is a list of the games that I beat in 2020, which is pretty cool, just to have it written down. I think I need to write down the ones I beat other years, too, and I wanted to, write it down. I don't think I've done it all. There's some really good games on there. Dante's Inferno on hard mode was ridiculous. I had to change it back to an easier difficulty for the final boss. I could not beat the final boss on hard. It was ridiculous. Max Payne 3 was freaking amazing on hard. That game was amazing. Let's see here what else we got. Some other games to play. Obscure, worthwhile PS3 games. This is still a pretty cool list. So Eye of Judgment was this card game that used the eye camera for the PS3. Tokyo Jungle, I've since gotten it did not come out in a physical copy. It was only digital through the PSN store. So I do have a copy of that. Vanquish and Folklore. I think I got Vanquish. I don't have Folklore. That Folklore still sounds pretty cool. Here's some other PS3 games I was considering at that time to add to my collection. I can't remember all of them. Puppeteer looked like a really cool platforming, side-scrolling platformer. So anyway, we'll move on here. So we have Pokemon Arceus, something going on here. I'm not sure, actually. It's been too long since I played Arceus, but I really liked Arceus. I liked it a lot better than, ZA Legends. So we just have some documentation from my client from back in the day of just driving him around. This is SMT3 Fusions. There's a lot of this. So I would honestly look at this. I would like to honestly just type it up, some of the better ones, and have it really nicely organized. But yeah, there's some really good stuff here. I'm sure it's kind of hard to read my writing. But there's a few that are kind of underlined that I'm going to look at. So we'll just kind of look at this one really quickly. because it basically tells you how to get Clotho. Orthus plus Oberion plus Succubus equals Shiki Uji. Shiki Uji plus Sparna equals Clotho. And then, let's see here. So then you have to make a Kali, basically. And so Shiki Uji plus Oberion will give you a Loa, and then you combine the Alola with Arahabaki and you'll get Kali. And then you combine Clotho with Kali and you'll get Bishamonten. So, there's some really cool stuff like that I have in here, where you can do Dionysus plus Succubus and you can get Kali with Void Fire, which is pretty cool. There's some really cool ones that I came up with like that, and so I was really putting pen to paper. How to get Abaddon, which is a pretty good one to get. Some really cool stuff. Trying to keep this interesting, so we'll move on. Here's Parasite Eve 2. I played it, I think it was like 2022 or 21 with my friend Josh. Oh yeah, Annie Oakley. So there was this cross-dressing, back in the days of the Wild West, cross-dressing person, cowboy person or whatever the hell you want to say. I think that is Annie Oakley. I can't remember though. That's probably why I wrote that down. One of them is that case. I can't remember which. So I don't know. You can correct me in the comments if you remember. Oh, we found it. That's right. So Calamity Jane. They lived, born 1852 to 1903. They were a cross-dressing sharpshooter. And so I just want to point this out to all these people saying, oh my gosh, these, people that wear women's clothes that are, biologically born males. Okay, well, look at the days of the Wild West then and get back to me. So that's cannabis considerations there. So then we have a really complex little riddle that's in Parasite Eve 2. Now solve my riddle 2. How many urinals in Dayfield's Loo? And that's why I have 4 urinals written over here. Once you know to the next place, a haunted house where only the sun dare show its face. Solve my riddle before you go. How many barrels in the mole den's center row? Once you know, go to the tap room. So 8 barrels. Where at 21 years a bay met his doom. I can't even read my own. A boy, by the way, met his doom. Let's see here. Where you can see yourself. Solve my riddle before you go. How many phones in Dryfield Street? Then proceed, go down below to Sunless Molehills, where red blood sleeps. So there's 4 phones, there's 8 barrels, there's 4 urinals, so basically 4, 4, 8, 7. Because I think one of them was based on one of these years over here. Okay, so then we have more stuff from Parasite Eve 2 here. And I'm not going to go over all this. It's kind of hard to read while I'm, trying to do this. So, more stuff here. And that's the end of that one. Because then it's just going to my stand vocab. So this was when I was doing Pokemon Sword, and I was completely filling out every Pokedex. So I was just writing down the ones I needed to get, and then crossing them off the list. basically. So that's what that's all about. And then this is more of the same. This is when I was doing the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra Pokedexes, respectively. This is the Galar Pokedex. And I did complete it. I have a video where I've completely done all of that. So yeah, just more of that. Just enjoyed putting pen to paper to organize that really quickly. So this is Pokemon team ideas in Pokemon Sword, and it's something I would like to revisit at some point. I'm really working on... So my idea is that you have passers, and then you have the stallers, and you're kind of using passers and stallers together. Let's see here. And I since have made a Scolipede that does have speed boost. So I'm trying to think. I haven't really made any other ones of these. I did make a Drifblim, that's right, that does have stockpile, and I do really like that. So it's something I'll still want to revisit. I'm still kind of working on it. And that's everything. That is all of, that's all of my notes that I have for video games. And so, I mean, I think I had some notes for Dino Crisis, and I don't know where those ones were, but I really love Dino Crisis for the same kind of reasons. It has you putting pen to paper. So those are my favorite kind of games, that they have me putting pen to paper. And it's some kind of riddle, I think, is one of my favorite things, like Resident Evil or Silent Hill.